Hey, thank you so much for joining our team. We're super excited to have you. Here's your training manual. I'll expect that you have this read tonight and you'll be ready to do the job tomorrow. I'll see you at the end of the week and just check in and see how things are going. Now, is this how you do it with your team? Hey, everybody, this is Natasha at the Med Pro Dojo, and we are so excited to have you here today. When you guys call and say, hey, these people are just not sticking, we're talking about your new hires. Are you doing that to them? Saying, hey, here's your manual. Are you ready to go tomorrow to start doing the job? So you guys have heard me talk about the onboarding, the training, and the apprenticeship. What I realized is I need to break down the part between training and apprenticeship. What happens in that little gap there? So in that gap is competency checklist and stress test. So let's break that down a little bit today. So the onboarding process is, here's your manual about the office. That's the onboarding part where they can look over what are the policies and the procedures, the employee handbooks, what time off looks like, all of their employee forms. Yes, that's one part of it. That's the onboarding. Then the training comes where maybe they're handed a different manual on how to operate the EHR or a rehab piece of equipment. It's specific to the job that gives them the nuts and bolts on how to do the specific thing for their area. That is the training. Once they've been through the training, we are going to go through a competency checklist. This should have everything listed out. Everything that they have just trained on should be broken down into a competency checklist. So then you can go through off of the old adage, see one, do one, teach one. See it, then do it, then teach a person. We teach them through the competency checkouts. So we're going to say, tell me how you change the time on the telephone. That's a competency checkout because we're going to have that 2 times in a year. We need to make sure they know how to do that. How to check a voicemail, how to enter a patient into the EHR, how to answer the phone, how to schedule an appointment. These are just certain things that you would find on the competency checklist. So 1, they read it in theory. 2, they're showing it to you. And then the next step from the competency checklist saying, okay, they know all these things. I see it. They know how to answer it when I'm drilling it with them, but we're going to stress test them. We're not going to leave them at the position by themselves because we don't know, unless you have cameras or you're recording, we don't know the things that are not going right. So we're going to sit up with that person and we're going to let them run that position for the day, whether it's a front desk person, whether it's a rehab technician, whether it's your case manager. We are not going to interrupt them. We are going to allow them to be stress test, to actually go through the position of the job for the entire day. The only time we'll interrupt a pattern if it's something that needs to be handled to ensure that we give the patient the right service or the information. Other than that, we will take notes and we will watch. So the morning shift will happen, then we'll decompress with them. What went really good today? What do you think could have been improved on? What challenges did you have and you weren't certain on how to answer those questions? Great. Can I give you some feedback? Then I would go over the notes that I took. This is where the apprenticeship part happens. We can see what they did really good. Then we can see that the things that were not so awesome. That's what we're going to coach an apprentice on. Apprenticeship is an old term where people used to do on-the-job training for to learn a certain craft or a skill, and it was a gift and it's something that was passed down. We need to remember the same thing as well. The leaders in the organization, or if you have trainers that are experts in this area, they're now passing their craft to somebody who's taking that over. So please don't forget apprenticeship. It doesn't just happen on the day that you stress test them and then you do some more training with them. But apprentice is the long-term goal of working with your team so they can be ultra successful, that they can continue to learn, they can continue to innovate on their positions. And we do that by then managing through KPIs. So key performance indicators, sub-indicators, are they where they need to be? And if it's not ideal and they're not hitting the targets and goals of the office, this is our jobs as leaders to come alongside of our people to work on the apprenticeship portion of that. If it's still not happening or they're not getting a grasp after we've done all of these things, then it might just be the wrong butt in the wrong seat. Maybe there's another position that they would excel in your office at. You can try that as well. We're going to still go through the same process. And if that doesn't work, well, then we know we need to replace them. So give your team members a fair shake. Give your team members the gift and the blessing of training them, onboarding them, and apprenticing them correctly. Stress test them. Be up there with them so they feel the security of that you're still close by, but you're letting them work through that. They can see where their areas of weakness are. Many of you have rehabilitation in your offices. When we look at functional movement screenings or functional tests or re-exams, we're looking for the areas that failed previously. Then we're going to design the rehab around strengthening those areas that failed. So the next time we test it, we're not testing everything all over again. We are testing the areas that failed. And so we should be doing the same thing. We're going to stress test it. We're going to see the areas that failed. We're going to do apprenticeship and more training there. And then we're going to test it again to make sure those areas are working the way that they should. And the main way to do that is through looking at your key performance indicators and are you hitting your targets? Because let's be real, we're not going to be able to sit up there every day and watch what that person's doing, but we can do that in the beginning. We teach them on the theory. They get to read through all the stuff. They get to sit in the seat and actually do the things. And then they get to sit in the seat alone with you nearby, but then also looking at how well did it go, what didn't go so well, and then really dialing in there. So stop handing people a manual saying they'll figure it out, because they won't. And then you'll have a revolving door of people that just keep coming in and you're thinking, oh my God, the whole workforce sucks and people don't know how to this, that, or the other thing. Please take personal responsibility for that as a leader in your organization, to gift your team with the opportunity to be onboarded correctly. They know the rules of engagement, to train them so they know the recipe to success in your office. Make sure they go through a competency checklist that, hey, everything that I did was exactly what needed to be done. Stress test them to say, yes, you can do it on your own. These are some areas that we can coach on, and then continue to apprentice your team the rest of the way through. That is something that should never stop. So we look forward to seeing how this helps your team. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. Other than that, be blessed, be a blessing, and we'll see you next time.
If this helped, give this video a like and share it with someone who needs this.